Hey, good evening and blessings out there. Facebook, as your man, Rod Hickman, generational wealth builders where poverty ends with us. Listen, we're so glad to be coming to you tonight. I know it's been a minute. I was just telling someone tonight, man, it's been a minute since I got on, but we've been a little busy here at Generational Wealth Builders. We are growing, we are expanding, and I thank the Lord for that. But I can't lie, it's kind of messing with my live time because I really like getting on here, sharing this information. Well, listen, I'm so glad to have my wife on with me tonight. And if you know my wife, you know it's almost like pulling teeth to get her to even halfway talk, let alone get on a darn live. So I'm super excited to be able to have her on tonight. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Doing well. How
All
about
right.
you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. But listen, so we wanted to get on tonight for just a few minutes because we were talking. And as we've been working with our team, we've been trying to get our team to understand that right now, financially, there are a lot of things going on in the market. I mean, there are a lot of things that are going on right now. And a lot of people are really, really nervous about everything, about their retirement, about what's going on with the banks, about just everything, right? And that's where I'm glad to say that my wife and I dug our heels in when the pandemic first kicked off. We dug our heels in and realized that the real place to really make money is actually in insurance, right? Why? Because it protects your money. And what I want you to understand tonight, my wife and I, what we're going to share with you on tonight is that you need to put your money somewhere where it is protected. If you're not putting it in a protected place, then guess what's going to happen? It's not going to be protected, right? And so I know that there are people out there that are like, hey, man, you know, this, that, and the other. I've been told this, I've been told that. And I understand all of that. And I don't take anything away from that. But what we're going to do tonight is basically kind of go through some numbers because here's what I've come to understand. Uh, People lie, numbers don't. Numbers are what they are. And what we want to help people do is we want to help people make sure that they're prepared for retirement, that they have the money that they need in case things that, you know, are above our control happen or take place, right? What you got to say, love?
I agree. I believe that because everyone is so overwhelmed, we just now kind of stop talking about the pandemic because for almost 3 years, that was the biggest thing. A lot of people are now trying to play catch up. Financially, they're trying to play catch up with family. And the biggest issue with that is finance. Because, of course, in order to even enjoy family, you got to be able to have finance in order to just be able to get back where you once were. Your finances have to be straight.
That's
So
right.
that's a big issue.
Exactly right. And people are doing a lot of stuff to try and catch up, right? So, what's some of the stuff you're seeing them do, love?
People are taking on multiple jobs, and then just with taking on multiple jobs, that's time away from family, of course. It's also a weight on your health if you're not careful. And then they're cashing in their retirement. I know a few people that have done that because they're trying to catch up. So,
Right. Yeah, absolutely right. And I remember, you know, when I tell people quite often when we first got started in this business, one of the main drivers for me getting into this business was that I saw where people were pulling their 401k out. I mean, money that took them 20, 10, 15, 20, 30 years to make, they were pulling it out and blowing it, right? They were blowing it. And so that's one of the main reasons that I really have so much passion in this business is because we can help people not be to a place where you have to do that, right? And
right.
I think until as a community that we understand how important retirement is and making sure that you're prepared for retirement, because this is not the stuff that's taught in schools. right? This is stuff that we had to learn. And if you learn on your own. But this is the kind of stuff that we need to learn how money works. And that's one of the things that for me is a very, very, very big thing on teaching people how money works. Because when you understand how money works, there's a shift that takes place. We're taught in school to work for your money. However, when you learn how money works, you now learn how to make your money work for you. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
And so that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to help people actually begin to get their money to work for them. And I know, one of the things that I see quite often, anytime I go to a gas station, I see people getting the scratch offs. I see them doing the lotto. And again, listen, do what you do, baby. At the end of the day, Rod has no condemnation for you, man. It's your life, it's your money. But if the intention that you have on playing the lotto, on playing the scratch offs, is to be able to retire or hit it so big that you don't have to work no more, the probability of that happening is nil to none. What do you think?
That's true. I think that we put our hope in all the wrong things, gambling as in a sense with our monies that one should be something that we should be planning for the future, something that we should be working on. Again, same thing we've taught our daughter and working with her and teaching her about money and how money works.
Mm-hmm.
And even at the age of 17, how to make her money works for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm godly proud because most teenagers they don't care about anything like that. But I always want her to know that, we're not going to always be around.
Exactly.
And this world is cold, this world is cruel, and they don't owe you anything. And so, with that being said, we're teaching her to be self sufficient and financially stable at a young age. And so, it's really, really important. And I think a lot of us as adults don't even know how to be self sufficient. We've been living from check to check since we've had a job and still don't know how to make our money work for us.
Mm. So, why do you think that's important that we teach our youth how to be financially smart, financially savvy?
First and foremost, they are our future.
Mm.
Those are our future presidents, people in leadership. So they need to know that. Second of all, again, as I expressed, we're not going to always be around. Third, they're not being taught this in school.
Right.
And it's a shame, but they have no clue as to how to manage money. And it's a very important part of survival.
That's right.
I can't tell you how many times I hear the stories about people sending their children off to college and they don't know how to stand on their own 2 feet. They can't keep meals until it's time to go back home. Mom has to go up and grocery shop for them, or dad has to send them gas money, or things like that. And that's just a prime indicator that it was missed. It's missed in school because they're not teaching it, but then also there's a missing link at home because maybe mom and dad are not knowledgeable in that area. And so it's a strain on them as a whole. And don't let the fact of inflation play a big part. They'll be homeless if it's left up to us, not, if we don't teach them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just the other day went to Walmart and we spent like $60. We had 4 bags, and I was shocked to hear our daughter say, "Man, that stuff is expensive," which lets me know that now she's aware that I'm just not spending money just to spend it. I need to spend wisely, and I need to pay attention, be conservative when it comes to your dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really proud to hear that, she's catching it. So it is important that we learn about how our money can work for us. It really is.
Exactly right. And I think that's the point, that you bring up a very valid point. Uh, as we grow older, and I know we don't like to talk about it, but we're getting older, right? Um, those that are coming behind us are going to have to make those decisions.
Right.
And if they don't have the tools or the resources that they need to know how money works, then man, just think about it. I cringe to even think about the fact that if there's something that needs to be taken care of, hey, mama, daddy in the nursing home or whatever the case may be, and they don't even know how to manage the affairs, right? Those are the kind of things that could happen. Now, they really want to get this far, but it's key, it's vital that we talk about this, because this is what's happening every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I remember I was talking with I was on a call with the family, and I remember I was telling them about, how the 401k and teaching them about the 401k. And I had gotten to the point where I was showing them that, hey, well, when you get ready to retire, yeah, um, they're going to tax that. The lady said, I know, we just went through that. Man, listen. And she started going in. I'm like, whoa, lady, look at here. You can't take over my stuff. But again, the people are finding this out at the last minute. And we've got to stop that, right? And so that's why I'm so glad you joined me tonight. And I know we got to go home so we can eat, so you can cook and everything. But it was important for me because here's one thing, and so we can get on with this conversation. So when I go to the gas station, right, I don't remember a time when I've gone to the gas station and I've not seen someone there scratching off. I don't, I can't think of a time when I went to the gas station and somebody wasn't actually buying a lotto ticket. Now, again, remember, y'all, Rod Hickman don't care what you do with your money. Baby, that's your money. And this might sound a little mean, but it's not meant to be mean. It's kind of help understand where I'm coming from with this. Your money is your money, baby. And what you do or don't do with your money does not impact my family at all. So holistically, whatever you do with your money, baby, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. However, what I can tell you is most people that are doing that scratch off don't realize that it's a trap, and they don't realize how they're throwing their money away.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get to a point where they can't afford that scratch off or lotto habit, then what are they going to do? Right? What are they going to do?
I think also it speaks to a person's mindset.
Mm,
Uh, what could you really do with that money
mhm,
that you're wasting on a chance? Also, when I just step back, I think a lot of it, and I'm not even talking about scratch offs, just the small things, the tennis shoes, the pumps, the lashes, the idea to look
oh, don't talk
lavish.
about them lashes now. They're gonna flog you in the street now.
I mean,
Can't
get
talk
my
about them hands that they got.
I'm just saying, you have to have a shirt to match the shoes to match the belt, and your hair has to match it every weekend. That's money that we don't even consider. Like, dude, you could do so much with that money. I don't even think people sit back and reflect on how much money they spend, paycheck to paycheck, week to week, club night to club night,
Mhm.
date night to date night, whatever it is that you're doing. I don't even think people sit back and say, look, I paid $200 just to go to a basketball game in a specific type of shoe. $200, and you probably only wear that shoe maybe once or twice because you only got two outfits to match the exotic colors. So you get what I'm saying? So it's something to think about. And of course, our children love shoes, but what the thing we did with them was, look, we'll buy what you need and you buy what you want and we'll meet you halfway. But we're not purchasing a $200 shoe. That's what we did because it's about priorities. And I think it has gotten lost in the translation of everything that's going on in this world. Priorities. Like we want to look the part, we want to look blessed, but we broke as a joke. And we don't know where our next meal will come from. We don't know what gas money look like when it's time to clock back in on Monday because we've spent our whole check. I mean, priorities are just lost. But again, I don't think we ever sit back and reflect on it. It's okay to look the part. It's okay, but you don't have to go and spend your last dollar to do so. And then you look, man, we do this stuff from the age of 18, clean on up, some of us into our 40s. And then when it comes time for us to actually settle down and want to have something, you have wasted so much time.
That's right.
You've exhausted so much money, money that you could have been investing in buying a house or putting it into some of the products that we offer to make sure that you can become your own bank and you're not penny pinching and looking at that 401k when you get ready to retire and want to fight somebody because you only got $20-some thousand after 18 years of work.
Exactly right. No, so, that's a tremendous point. Go ahead.
I'm done.
No, that's a tremendous point. And God bless you out there, Lady Bridget Thomas. May the Lord bless you. Thank you so much for listening to us out there tonight in Osceola, Arkansas. God bless you and Superintendent. Well, babe, you brought us to a point. And that's where we can put some numbers to it. Now, again, when we put the numbers to it, again, we're just giving an average, right? Basically, what we're going to show tonight are averages, right? Because here we go again. We know some people spend more. We know some people spend less. We're just going to give you somewhat of a model for you to see how much someone will pay over the course of their life and playing the scratch off. So let me see if I can share my screen here real quick. Yeah, I think that's the one right there. So hopefully you all can see my screen. And again, we definitely invite you all to be able to type and chime in because we really want to hear your comments. So let's just say, and I call this the scratch off trap because that's exactly what it is. And what I've done here, I've done the math. I've said, okay, let's say that you have an 18-year-old person who spends $200 a month on scratch off. And again, an average of $200 a month. Maybe not, but just let's say $200 a month. And to my wife's point, it doesn't necessarily have to be scratch offs. It can be on stuff that you absolutely don't need, right? Like you got to have all the Jordans. You got to have all the Levi's. You got to have all the everything, that kind of stuff, right? And stuff that you only wear once or twice. Like even, my wife will tell you about me. I buy multi-purpose, right? I don't have a pair of black dress shoes, a pair of green dress shoes. No, I got black, I got some blue, and I got some brown, right? Because those are multi-purpose. You get what I'm saying? Because ultimately, and again, remember, I'm not telling you how to live your life. What I'm trying to help you understand is a lot of the time people are like, I don't have enough money. That's not true. A lot of time we don't know where our money is going with because we don't have a budget. Now that's a whole different class. I ain't even touching that one tonight. If you don't have a budget, your money's not working for you. Period and point blank. That's that. You can argue me all you want to, but here we go again. If you don't have a budget, you may say, I'm going into Walmart to only spend $25, but I guarantee you come out of there with more than that. And the only way you don't is if you ain't got it in there and that card don't swipe. So let's just keep moving. Now, what we see here, we just said, let's say that someone invested into them scratchers $2,400 a year. That's the annual investment of $200 a month. If you did that to age 67, because that's the retirement age. So for 49 years, You just paid in $117,600, right? Again, if we use these numbers. Now, I can't tell you how much you've gotten back on this because I don't know, right? And you won't know how much you'll win if you keep playing them scratchers $200 a month. You won't know, right? You just won't. However, what I can tell you is it's a loss. You get where I'm coming from, and you may be one on one like, well, it's $100 a month. Well, cut it in half, right? Or it's X amount of dollars, right? But again, you kind of get where I'm going with this. But look at here. So $117,000 is what you invested. What return did you get on that investment, right? One thing I know is that the house does not lose. Vegas ain't gonna lose. So you may spend $1,000 and win 500, but I guarantee you still on the downside. They are not gonna let you just win and think you're just gonna keep on winning. Now again, every now and again, there's an anomaly out there where they come out on top. But the more that come out on top, if they're wide, they get out. All right, let's keep pushing. So again, 25 years. If you did it from the age of 25 to the age of 67, that's 42 years. So the math is simple. We take that $2,400 a year times 42 years, that's $100,000. Again, you gave away $100,000 faithful, whether you won or lost. Think about that. You scratched $100,000. Just scratching it off. And again, the question is, what do you have to show for it? So what we want to show you on tonight is the way the wealthy people grow their money. And now we have an annuity here that we want to show you. And if you look at our annuity says if you're at the age of 18 and you take that same $200 a month and put it into one of our fixed index annuity products, at the age of 67, you'll have $6.2 million. Mm-hmm. And $250,000 is what you earn off of that same $117,000. And so what happens is if you take a yearly distribution, your first distribution is going to be about $312,000. Now, let me ask you, could you live a good life off $312,000?
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about a thing. Let's say you started doing it 25. Again, that same $100,000 would net you almost or net you $3.2 million. $1 million if you're 35. And even if you're at 45 and you started late, it'll still give you $314,000. This is what we teach here at Generational Wealth Builders, because we want people to understand that the scratch off is a trap to keep you poor. The same amount of money, the exact same amount of money. I can show you, because this is insurance, I can give you a ballpark of where you will be at the age of 67 when you get ready to retire. Because retirement is real, folks. I know. We don't think it's real, but retirement is real for sure. I'm feeling it. I ain't even there yet. I just turned 48 and I called myself trying to do that plank challenge. And now I'm like, oh, Jesus, help me now. Help me, Lord. Right? But I want you to see that. Look at the difference in numbers. Here, you know what you'll have. Here, you know where you are. Here, you continue to live. You continue to thrive. Here, what are you doing at 67? What are you doing? How are you surviving? And I hear those of you out there, well, I got my 401k, but y'all watch my other videos now. And especially with what the market is doing right now, go watch my other video. I tried to told you is what they said, but I tried to tell you, because the 401k again is a trap. It's a trap to make you feel like you're winning, like this, taking your money and gonna beat you down to your darn socks. All right, so let me just finish out with this, because again, you have to know your numbers, right? What are your retirement numbers? And how do you identify what your retirement numbers are? The easiest way, I'm not talking about accounting for inflation, I'm not talking about none of that other stuff. The easiest way is for you to know how much money you need to have at the point of retirement. So let's just say right now you're making a $50,000 a year, and you say, you know what, I plan on retiring at the age of 60, and I think I'm gonna live to about the age of 90. So I need 30 years. I'm sorry, I need 30 years of funding, right? Because you take the amount of years that you retire and say how many years you need money. So you basically take your annual salary and you multiply by the years that you need salary. So look, you need $1.5 million in order at a baseline to try to maintain the same standard of life that you have right now. You know how much you need. Now, let me ask you a question. For those of you that are out there, how many of y'all got half of this in your 401k? Right? How many of y'all got half of this in 401k? How many of y'all actually think that you'll actually be able to get to that type of number with your 401k? It's a misnomer. And here's the thing: what people don't know about your 401k. Let's say, especially if you took what they call pre-tax, meaning that they didn't tax it on the front end. What's going to happen is that they're going to tax your money. They're going to tax your money when you get ready to take it. So even though you think you got 1.5, you really won't have 1.5. You'll have a little something, a little less than that. Go ahead, babe. You got to say.
I've seen these numbers recently with someone doing a withdrawal, and they were taxed 20%. They took 20% of what that person had.
So
that was it was $3,000 of what they were requesting. And I don't know about you, but I can use that $3,000.
You know what I'm talking about?
I can use that $3,000. And I think we don't even know what we need at this point in our lives. But this is a really good way of making these things a reality, because again, retirement is going to come if we live to see it. But I don't want to go and work at Walmart after retirement. I want to travel. I want to enjoy grandchildren. I want to be able to sit at home and know that I have a guaranteed check coming in while I'm retired. I don't want to go back and have to do anything that I did to get to where I am now. I just think that's a crime and a shame that people have to do that, because we will not receive the knowledge that's being given to us. And I speak to entrepreneurs on tonight. You really need to consider building your retirement now. You know, he gave you the ages where you can start and how to do it. Reach out to us. Let us know where you are. You know, it's not about knowing anybody's business. It's about building generational wealth, especially if you have children and grandchildren. Again, we can't express enough how important it is to not leave your loved ones hanging. It's people right now that have been on job 20 and 30 and 40 years, and they are still renting homes. That's a crime and a shame. Indeed. Because somebody did not teach them about things like this and how to properly prepare their families and how to actually give them generational wealth, how to show them how to create generational wealth.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And that's, again, why we're here. We're here to show families that you don't have to pass on poverty. Again, our motto is where poverty ends with us. And as I say all the time, I hear people say knowledge is power, not until it's applied, right? When it's applied, then it becomes power because it brings about a change. You're no longer the same. Once it's applied, it begins to move something. And so I just wanted to get on tonight because I'm finna go eat now. But I wanted to get on tonight because I've been wanting to do this for a few days now. Because ultimately, folks, again, with everything going on with the banks, I know people are freaking out about that. People are freaking out about everything, right? But notice, The wealthy are not freaking out.
That's right.
And I'll say this in closing: I don't think Chris Tucker knew the amount of game that he left on deck when he was in the movie Rush Hour 2. When they asked him a question, say, "I'm going to LA," and he was talking about the dude, said he was way too cool on that boat when the shooting got started. And he was like, so that's why he followed him. And guess what? When they followed him, guess what they found out? They found what they were looking for. And I say that to say, when you see the wealthy still being cool, then you need to go where they are. And that's what we do here, Generational Wealth Builders. We show you how to put your money where their money is. Because guess what? They're not losing their money.
Exactly right. And I think, too, parents, this seems, so it seems like it's not important, but I challenge you the next time you're just sitting and you see little Johnny or little Jenny running through the house with those Jordans on. Just think about how many pair of Jordans you bought and how financially prepared you are for them to have generational wealth. Because I have nothing against it, but then what are we doing to make sure that they have a great future other than making them look good?
That's right. And I can take that a step further, right? Because it's not so much just about making sure that your children look good, but you've got to live. I think we have a mindset that if I give my child all they want while they grow up, when I get older, they're going to take care of me.
Not happening.
No, I mean, I'm being serious. And again, if anybody disagree, I'd love to hear your argument, right? But I feel like well, if I do this, if I do all this, that, and the third, little Johnny, when he get up, he gonna take care of me. No, because real talk, you're not empowering little Johnny,
enabling
to be able to make money.
Right.
You're crippling little Johnny, and little Johnny gonna be in your basement, still talking about why you drinking his orange juice. Right? We've got to empower our people, and this is what I want to say, and I promise y'all, again, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you don't know, there's no shame in you not knowing.
Right.
The shame comes when you stay in the dark instead of moving and getting to a place where you can learn and where you can grow. That's the shame. As my wife said earlier, that's the crime and the shame. It's not necessarily a shame that there are 401ks out there, but it's a crime and a shame. And I used to think it was a crying shame, but again, I'll go ahead on. But it is a shame and a crime for you to know that it's not working for you, and you keep putting your money in there.
Right.
It is a crime and a shame for you to realize that you spend more money on what you look like right now, the clothes you got on your back. You spend more money on that than you actually do to make sure that your retirement is taken care of, that you're going to be taken care of. And not only just you being taken care of, what about your wife? What about your husband? Because we never know when life is going to happen.
Right.
I thank God that should I close my eyes to this world, Lady Hickman and Bug are taken care of. As a man, there's no better feeling than knowing that. She ain't gotta go and, let no other joker come show her all his teeth. You get what I'm saying? She don't have to do that. Generational wealth is already built for them. And so that being said, we've got to start thinking more proactive. Again, we've had to have some hard conversations. When we were sitting down, baby, how much life insurance do we need to have? Again, you don't want to think about losing your loved one, but you need to have that conversation.
Right.
Because just because you don't have the conversation don't mean that it's not going to occur.
That's right.
I mean that. What it means is you were prepared, and now you'll be able to grieve a lot better, right? Now your grieving is focused more on the loss than being in anguish of they finna come get the house, they finna come get the car, they finna come put us out because we're not homeowners, they finna stop the car because we got one of them cars from It's All Good and they got the little tracker on it. They just hit the button like bait car. Now you just stuck and you just like, and it won't go nowhere, right? All these things happen. People don't realize that. And again, while I'm putting a comical spin to it, it's not a laughing matter.
So we got it.
Is detrimental and it's consistently happening. And it's almost like we feel like, well, it's not for me. And so that's why, again, we're delaying our dinner, because we feel like this information is so vital and so critical.
It is. I don't want to even think about the fact that we do spend so much money looking apart and trying to, look like the Joneses and all. And then somebody has to pass a hat to bury us. That's a heavy weight, and it's quite embarrassing that we're not prepared. And it all stems to our mindset. Do you want to have poverty? Do you want to live impoverished the rest of your life? It's something that I know we've always been taught was to dream, and I think that we get lost and don't think that there's nothing more than what it is that we have now. Let us help you. Let us show you how to create generational wealth for your children and your children's children.
Exactly right. I mean, because it's there. And when I hear folks say, well, because of the man. No, you can't tell that a lot no more, right? Because it's white folk that's dying poor. If that logic were true, then that means that every white person would be rich. And guess what? Every white person ain't rich. So to sit there and say, well, man, because of this and because of that, no, it's you. You have to be willing to change you. You have to be willing to understand that, you know what? I'm going to improve my family. I'm going to improve those that come after me. I am not going to allow poverty to pass on to my future generations. We've made a pact that our grandchildren won't know poverty.
That's right.
And praise the Lord, they have not. Our children didn't know poverty. You know what I mean? I thank the Lord, we had a great life. We didn't go to the French Riviera and stuff like that, but guess what? Our children had pretty much what they wanted, right? They sure had what they needed, right? There were some Christmases they got clothes and maybe one or two toys, absolutely. But guess what? They had everything that they needed and a few of their wants. But see, we put more stock into them than what they had on their body.
That's right. And
now I see, people first thing they want to do, especially it's tax time, all the ballers out now. all the ballers out. All the ballers out now. Everybody out now because they're getting the tax money back. But my main question is, what are you doing to make sure down the road that you can continue to live that life? I know it's a good life. It's a good life when you can go where you want to go. It is. It's a good life when you can say, hey, I'm taking a flight going here. You pay $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 and just go take a flight. It is a great life, right? But at the same time, that life have to be sustained. But regret staying for a long time. And so we just want to encourage you all. Again, I know it was a little lengthy on tonight, but listen, that scratch off trap is vicious, man. It's vicious because you feel like it's that next scratch off. Oh, Lord, it's that next one. That's basically like a junkie, right? You chasing that same high, right? I was watching something on the history, the National Geographic yesterday, and they had a young man on there who was a addicted to something. I think it was oxycodone. And he said it. He said, man, he said, I keep chasing that same high. He said, everything I do, I'm chasing that first high, and I ain't got it yet. And let me help you with the scratch offs, with the 401k. You chasing the same high because you like, oh, I got access to this money. Hope there are ways that you can still have access to your money, and you don't have to be taxed, and you don't have to be penalized.
Right.
All right, love. I'll give you the final word so we can get on out of here.
Again, we're generational wealth builders where poverty ends with us.
Say that.
We are generational wealth builders where poverty ends with us. Truly, it ends with us as it pertains to the Hickman name. But let us help you. Let us help you.
Absolutely. And by way of congratulations, y'all, my baby now has achieved a great milestone where she can now also offer life insurance products in the great state of Florida. Come on through, Hickman. Come on through. Come on through. Super proud of you. I do want to shout out some of our other agents that are working on with us as part of the generational wealth builder hierarchy. We got, of course, the money man himself, Mr. Bobby D. Clary of Legacy Bridge Builders. Him and Tiffany D. Clary out there in Garland, Tennessee. We're so happy to have them here working with us. Lady Eleanor Glover and Insurance Matters Generational Wealth Builders in Memphis, Tennessee, building a team up there, getting ready to do some amazing things up there to help families out. We got the Hughes, Richard and Lamisha Hughes down there in South Florida, down in Fort Pierce, coming on with the Generational Wealth Builder South. And we're so excited about them. Finna hear some great announcements about them that I'm about to share with you. Here locally, we got Miss Sharon Russell. I know she out there lurking somewhere. Sharon Russell working with us here in our office. And again, I'm so proud of her. She's overcome a lot. She's come through a lot. And I am just super duper proud of her and the fight and the resolve that she has to be able to become a premier entrepreneur and to learn these products and services to offer them to her friends, her loved ones, and companions. Want to give a shout out down there in Fort Stewart, Georgia. And for those of y'all that don't know, next Thursday, I'll be down there in Hinesville, Georgia. But we got two amazing power teams that are coming up down there. We have Mr. Davin and Shanithia Powell. I call them the power team. And then last but not least, we got Miss Frida Martin, the CEO of Foundation Setters, Generational Wealth Building. So I'm so glad to see how we're growing here, how we're enlarging our team. Oh Lord, I almost forgot about Ronnie Wallace out there in Huntsville, Texas. R&R Financial Services. So as you can see, Generational Wealth Builders is growing, and that's why we haven't been able to be online like we want to, because we're getting them put in the position so that they can go forth and begin to offer these great products and services to you in your respective areas. So again, we're so glad to be here and glad to have this time with you all tonight. Those that listened, those that commented, we appreciate you so much. But listen, I'm your man, Rod Hickman. Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Listen, we're here for you. We're coming to a state near you. I can promise you that. We're here to help you. And so may the Lord bless you. May he ever smile on you. God bless, and y'all have a good night. God bless.